Welcome back everyone to another Bitcoin update, and we have had seen a little bit of another sell-off today for Bitcoin just because of the news that has come out between the Iran and US for the potential failed negotiations and end of a ceasefire that could be coming. So we have a few different paths that we can possibly play out for, and obviously with just all the volatility in the news market, obviously that will be a heavy influence for what we will be seeing over this coming trading week. So we'll kind of go over some of the scenarios for the Elliot wave and how this can basically be connected to different news events and whatnot. So overall, we have a few different ways for this larger degree A, B, C, and a larger degree B wave that could be playing out for a corrective bounce. Now, our basic scenario would be a B, C to the upside, where this C wave could either be in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up, and then we head lower, or if all of this is a larger degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up, in which we could see a decline from there. Otherwise, it could become more complex in a larger degree, A wave, B wave, and then a C wave up before going lower as well. That's always a possibility. Now I have this support zone added between 67,900 to 73,300, which is just basic support for either this second wave or this fourth wave pullback and then a fifth wave move up. If we do see a larger pullback and we head deeper into this support zone, well, then it becomes more and more likely that we are indeed in this second wave pullback. If we do see, like what we've seen so far, just a shallow pullback, and we kind of just go sideways before going higher, well, that just adds a little bit more weight to all this being a 1, 2, 3, and then that was just a fourth wave pullback, and now we're getting a fifth wave higher. Now, like what we've said before, if this is indeed a 5 wave move up, or if this was all of the 5 wave move up and we don't get a deep pullback, well, then steam can run out very quickly just because we were so overextended in this move here. It's not usually the best, obviously nothing's ever guaranteed, but it's usually not the best thing to see another high from here, in which we just don't have enough steam for if we don't get a healthy pullback just to reset everything in the market. If we do just go higher, maybe with a catalyst event, maybe a deal gets signed and we just go higher towards that 80,000 and above region for that fifth wave, well, maybe steam can run out a little bit sooner compared to if we just get a healthy wave 2, a deal with Iran, then we get an impulsive third wave, fourth wave, and a fifth wave up, all for that C wave, which could actually be a larger price target or a more impulsive price that we could possibly get compared to just the other scenario. So that's something to kind of look out for. Now, we do have this trend line here that we have bounced off of multiple times throughout this entire couple of months, and it's totally possible that we do come back down to retest this trend line before bouncing off it as well. That's always a possibility. And if the negotiations do not go well with Iran and we do start to head lower, well, then this support zone and this trend line would definitely be a watch for something to look out for, and what could possibly, whether we see a bounce from there or whether we break below this trend line and then we kind of go back to retest it and then get rejected, well, then that would kind of add more and more weight to that this B wave already did top over here. Like we said before, remember, this could be all of our B wave and an A, B, C, and then now we're just going lower. That's always a possibility as well. Now, we could always have an extended, if all this could be an A wave, then we can get a B wave extension in which we could try again in that C wave. Like I said, that's always a possibility, but we'll kind of have to wait and see what price action will do. In the meantime, we're pretty much stuck with this news catalyst for this coming week and just waiting to see how different things develop out for this Iran and US war and how it can possibly affect price action as well. Because what I've seen on a lot of media and just from technical people is they'll draw all these lines, they'll draw all this support, they'll show these technical indicators, but when we're in such a volatile market and when we have a very I guess there isn't really confidence of which scenario could be playing out, whether we get a deal or we don't get a deal with Iran, or the war escalates or the war goes back on. At the end of the day, those are going to be the news and volatility events that will pretty much create a catalyst that could push us towards a different scenario. So I feel like it's very important to talk about that compared to just technical indicators and what you're seeing on the chart, because really a lot, for example, this whole entire pump came from a ceasefire and a good negotiations and the strait being open for less than 24 hours. That's what really caused this extended pump. It just was because we were at a crucial point in time. If we did get that catalyst good news, then yeah, we could possibly see a positive effect from there, just because we are in support. So when we head lower here and we're in support and we get good news, well, we're in support, buyers can get interested and they push the price up from there. But if we head into support and a catalyst comes, maybe the deal for Iran doesn't go through and the war starts again, well, then that's where we could go lower and test this area around here. So that's kind of how you have to think about these different news events and how they can correlate to this. But obviously nothing is ever guaranteed. If we head over to the RSI on the 4-hour, getting pretty close, not close, but heading towards that oversold territory. We can always form bullish divergences on the RSI as well. So if we do come down here, maybe get a B wave bounce and then a C wave down, and then we could possibly see a a bullish divergence form. Not from this move and that move, but just in that later move for the C wave, we could possibly see that. On the 1 hour, we have hit oversold 2 times so far, and so far the bounce that we have seen both times has just been weak and corrective as well. So not major buying pressure. On the daily, we pretty much got rejected around that area that we were talking about with that trend line. Although we did break above it for a brief bit, it seems like we kind of are breaking below it right now. And on the weekly, we are still below that weekly trend line as well, like what we pointed out. Now we'll go over liquidity. And shorts are indeed building up a lot to the upside, but we also have this downside liquidity to watch out for as well, between 73,500 to that 70,000 range on the back end. But main is between 72,000 to about 74,000 for that main liquidity. On the 30-day, we still do have heavy longs compared to shorts. For example, that same area here at that 74 to about 72,000 range. And then back here is that 69,000 and then this 66,000 range as well. And on the daily, doesn't really matter too much. Maybe we could see a short-term bounce possibly to liquidate some of these shorts. But yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see what the market will want to do with that. If we head over to the liquidity, obviously large shorts are building above us at that 77,000 range, but we also have that downside liquidity to about 72,000 in the shorter term. If we go to the longer term, maybe we could see this play out through this upcoming trading week, and it kind of aligns pretty well with support, resistance, trend lines, and also both catalyst events. If we do see a deal come through for Iran, it wouldn't really be surprising if we head towards this 80,000 area to liquidate some of these shorts. But if we do get maybe just not good news, maybe the war starts or just failed negotiations, maybe even I guess what could be good news but then later on could turn bad is maybe they extend the ceasefire, we head a little bit higher, and then just for some reason price just looks weak and corrective and we head lower. Well, in that 74 to about 70,000 range for liquidity would be a very possible zone that could be hit if we do head lower in that catalyst event. Now, open interest has fallen below this previous low over here in this previous price action. Obviously, people aren't super interested in Bitcoin as compared to what they were up here as well. And if we head over to funding rate, we typically, for the last couple of update videos, have seen strong negative funding rate. Now it's kind of gone from strong negative funding rate to pretty much neutral towards positive and negative as well, as we are just barely in the positive funding rate. But I would say this is more of a neutral territory that we have been in really since the other than this, yeah, I guess really since this weekend has started, we've pretty much just been pretty neutral for funding rate. I know we've had this little bit of an increase, but if you compare it to some of these price or different, I guess, standpoints, it is overall pretty neutral over here. So yeah, what we can expect over the next 24 hours and just with the market opening back up, well, we'll have to wait and see what the Iran and US war will have to do. Right now we are in minor support for this fourth wave pullback. If we do get good news, wouldn't be surprising to see a push up to liquidate that 80,000 range and higher. If we get bad news and we start to head deeper into support, we could definitely look for support within this area. If we break below the trend line and we have a sustained break below 67,900 as well, well then we'll kind of have to wait and see for what price is showing us at that point. But we have those two liquidity zones above us and below us as well. In the short term, 77,000 to about 70,000 for those shorter term liquidity zones. And yeah, if we don't get any news at the moment, so far price has just been corrective looking, going to the upside. We could see a short-term bounce. Let's say if we get no news, we could possibly see maybe a short-term bounce to that 77,000 range just to liquidate some of those shorts before going lower as well. But otherwise, you just never know with the catalyst and news events and this Iran and US war and volatility when exactly that price change could come. So yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see what price will do. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.